We're in Sacramento today at the State Water Resources Control Board hearing about water getting to our farming communities, and I am talking with Andy Souza, the CEO of the Community Food Bank. Now, Andy, tell me why you came down to this meeting today.
Part of the impact, as we all know, of the lack of water is what the families in the west side of Fresno County are having to deal with. Since May of this year, we've distributed over 90,000 drought relief meal boxes, and we're averaging about 1,500 to 2,000 households a month. That's anywhere from 6 to 10,000 people a month who otherwise really didn't need our assistance are now all of a sudden having to be provided with all the food for their family every month since May. So it is pretty devastating to those families and to those communities that we serve.
So that, would you say, is another example of how farming water limitations are affecting the community?
Absolutely. For us, what it means is the lack of water is very personal. Each one of those households, each one of those families are 5 people who can no longer support themselves. And so it's not only the providing of food, but it's the dignity, it's the despair that comes from that. We've watched families since May just in this cycle of a little bit of frustration and depression and almost hopelessness, because they'll tell our staff, they've told me, we just want to work. We're grateful for the assistance, but we're here to support our families. We want to work. We don't want to rely on the government. We don't want to rely on the food bank. We want to be able to support our families. And I think that's the Senator Vidak mentioned early in his comments about the human suffering. And that's what we're seeing every day when we're out there. We're seeing the frontline impact of what the lack of water means, not only to a community, but to those individual families, neighbors, friends that are impacted every day.
Now, you and I spoke several months ago, maybe even a year ago now, and at that time you told me that another trend we were seeing at the food banks is new people coming in, families that otherwise would not have had to use those types of services. Is that continuing?
It sure is, because it's not only the direct impact of the labor, but it's the residual impact of that's less money at the grocery store. So you might have a checker at the grocery store who doesn't have as many hours as they've had in the past, or the barber shop, or the hardware store. So the devastation in these communities goes far beyond just that initial impact. And we're seeing those families coming as well. So they may not be specifically directly tied to the drought, but we know that is a big part of why they're in our lines.
Right. So this is not a farm worker issue. Sometimes it's not even a farmer issue. It's really affecting more of the community than that.
It sure does. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a people issue. I mean, we can stand here in front of the board today and talk about the stats, the number of peoples, but again, every one of those statistics is a family, is a child that goes to school wondering if they're going to have food when he gets home that night, is wondering what's going to happen next month, watching their parents go through the challenges that they're going through. So yeah, it is a very deep-rooted issue, far beyond simply the flow of water.
For community members who maybe are doing a little bit better than others, is there anything that we can do to help?
Yeah, certainly. You can contact us at communityfoodbank.net. We've had some great corporate donors come alongside us and provide some of the food assistance that's not normally provided in the drought relief boxes, whether it's a fresh protein, whether it's fresh produce that we're able to provide. Because in addition to those 90,000 boxes, we provided another well over 1 million pounds of food to go along with those for these families. So yeah, communityfoodbank.net is the easiest way to get a hold of us. And again, we're serving Fresno, Madera, Kings, Kern, and Tulare counties.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today, Andy.
Thank you.